All right, everybody, welcome to our Nier Replicant Route B start. This time we're going to start our Route B, or our ending to Route B, I guess. So no clue how long these routes are. I have no clue how long these endings are to get to. I have nothing. I didn't look anything up, so I'm kind of just rolling with the punches here. So, but I do know I think we start playing as Kaine, not Kanye. I can't stop doing that. So I think when I load this, it'll automatically just start. So that's why I haven't started it yet. So guys, before we get started, before I hit continue, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're live every day. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Ready? Let's try this out. And let's go. Operation complete. And if you guys didn't see Ending A, definitely check out Ending A. It was a wild time.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway...
So we're starting from when we get de-petrified. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. What's up, guys? A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden, hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, and which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived the shipwreck. Those traits combined with her pale white skin to give the face of almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then the child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair, and it began its long descent to the ground. Come on, come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vein slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with its beak pointing firmly towards the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kaine! The voice belonged to Demo, worst of all the bullies in the area. As she struggled to stand, a final stone came scattering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from the cut above her eye and blurred vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by her seemingly indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet, or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to flee. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled around her, cruelty burning into her eyes. She knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to the sensation. It was one that she experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Demo's words shoot at her like a worm through an apple. You can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt. Oh, look, the little freak's gonna cry. What's wrong? You said everyone hates you and wants you dead? She prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Timo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Timo's rock could have taken my head off. She couldn't meet Timo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes to stare at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed her face with thick fingers and yanked it upwards. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze up. Oh my god, I can't read today. What is going on? And jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? He grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention off from her. He called to his cohorts. Come on, guys. Let's give this freak what she deserves. As soon as Female Demon finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for? Everyone knows what you really are. She ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no one to go home to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak. She closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her entire world. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the last of her tormentors turned to terrific cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. She was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head in screaming pain. She could see blood welling from the space between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from her. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a little bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine before again, I will do far worse than throw a rock, and you can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand that Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaving the corpse. Stop, what are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. The big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the biggest cure for stupid. Damn. What's up, robot? What's up, Avex? Demo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking her eyes on Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out. Leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grabbed another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go. Guess he's really healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as he turned his attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it on the young girl's shoulders, then produced a claw from the folds of her dress and began blotting the blood on her forehead. Why don't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in cheek for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As her tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength. Kaine found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt the crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Good? How am I doing? I'm doing alright. Can't complain. Understand. The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the path of losing someone close to you. You know because you survived it. As her words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. With each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking at her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not. Don't be an ass. She drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If it was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't. Hush. I will not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in her hair. The skill it took to bend flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable. And the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where'd you find these? I just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's head hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, her grandmother said as she squinted. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but I'm sure it looks pretty good on a pretty girl like you. She blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me. As long as we got each other, we'll just be fine. She took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I do not need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough, even if it's us against the world. She let her gaze drift past the vane and into the cloudy sky, the last faint hints of the rainbow slowly fading. As she turned and headed home, the light scattered into millions of particles and vanished, seemingly taking away on the breeze. Kaine's dreams, daily life. In the distance, Kaine heard. Oh my god. Alright. I didn't know this was story time, so give me a second here. Alright. You know, make yourselves hot cocoa or whatever, because it's story time with Uncle Save. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as it could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard while abandoned. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die from frustration before the job was through. You stupid piece of shit axe! These text-only parts were a huge turnoff for you? It does seem a little lazy. I will say that. And parts that are text-only do seem a little lazy in, like, newer era stuff. Like, I feel like, you know, obviously, like, you know, back in the old days, like, when text was, like, needed. But, yeah, I get it. I don't mind it, I just, reading it out loud for stream is always, a thing. Her grandmother flailed away from the axe, filling her air with both splinters and wood. I did hate the forest, though. The forest was atrocious. That would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma called Kaine. Is that you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off of the wood for a moment. Don't get too close or you might get your goddamn foot cut off by mistake. She brought the axe down a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine, close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. When she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, "Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something?" The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused midair. The old woman considered her grandmother's offer for a moment, then smiled. "Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get water? The shades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of those bastards." Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind is set, there's no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with the chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reasons. She didn't want her grandmother to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight and out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to villagers and her granddaughter, and rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on a rocky acre of land they called home. She enjoyed the solitude, but harbored secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log, refused to budge. Frustrated, she swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it! She suddenly understood with the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on the palms and ignoring the pain, she redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, her grandmother returned from the village. Setting down her buckets in a small size, she took one look at the logs and coughed a wheezy laugh. "Pretty clumsy girl. If you practiced, if you..." Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes widened. Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. "Grandma." The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. "Get the bucket. Can't let it spill." She steadied the bucket with a foot and she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of the dress. Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening?" Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. At the moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. "Stop that, just stop," she breathed heavily. "It ain't like I'm dying. I'm just tired from the trip is all." She desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the woman's shaking hands and worn face told more words than ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill that was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother was watching over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. "Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to go to the village." The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. "It's all right. I'll be fine." Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that she could melt steel. After what seemed like an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. "Well, I don't like it, goddammit, but I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up." The old woman watched as Kaine strapped her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, it was an unseen sun made its way across the dark rainy sky. She was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure that money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin her heels, making sure she wasn't being sucked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. A few adults could be seen and glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air, telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. "Hey, lady," said Kaine with a bravado she would not feel. "What's the hypocrisy?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me?" they seemed to say. But Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. "Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" The woman pointed to a small building on her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. She cringed, expecting the sound to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the hypocrisy. But the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He had clearly been sitting here on some kind of family errand because the gang and his followers were nowhere to be found. "On my go," he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for medicine. "Ha! The old bitch finally keeled over? Go to hell, Demo." The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall off his head. Before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, Parsley told him to knock it off before he kicked him out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed himself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared the medicine. Countless little bottles were crammed in the store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic and not altogether unpleasant. Oh my god. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely, in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter raised a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but the time had worked its cruel magic and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. "You like that picture?" She turned to find him with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. "That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now." Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. "Pictures are beautiful things," continued the shopkeeper. "They let the ones closest to you live on forever." He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled, handing her her medicine. He reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. "You should have these. There's no one left I wish to draw." She took an instinctively step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. "Yes, I heard the rumors about you," he said. "It's a small village and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think that the way she was driven out of town is just deplorable." Her grandmother's name is Kali? She was still mulling over this new fact in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from his hands. "Your grandmother's an old friend of mine," he said as Kaine scooted away yet again, "and I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her." "Yes, I think she would like that very much." Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible, I don't know, step. When Kaine returned home, she found, I didn't mean to hit X. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding in bits and pieces, and Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hands clasped around her arm. "Back already, are you?" she asked with a yawn. "Come here, let me have a look at you." She sat up and examined Kaine from head from toe. Finally satisfied with nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. "Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble?" "It was kind of fun," she said with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. "Fun, eh?" asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. Portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Horse shit, her grandmother, throwing back the sheet out from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. I put those crayons away and help with dinner. But Kaine was not reliant, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of her house, as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible, it doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed on her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, or a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. Wow, the narrator's a savage. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said, you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face. An action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no longer and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, the old woman said. I'll take it down when they enroll me in my shroud. She pondered for a bit, then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. It makes me want to go on, so that someday I can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride, love, and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in this world possible. Oh boy. Time moves on. People and memories move in and out of life, like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I'll remember it forever. Forever. Kaine's dreams, separation. Oh my god! How long is this? You gotta be kidding me. Alright. Okay. Alright. Listen, chat. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, this is a lot. This is a lot to... Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be this long. Oh my god. Is that what she said? Bedtime for stories? Alright. Chapter 3. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and had made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool. It's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, well, it looks like a bug. And I think it's burnt or something, because it smells terrible. With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. Oh yeah, it's terrible, alright. Why, you little brat, laughed the old woman. Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time on me, and that's a fact. 5 years have passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As often the way with two stubborn people, the relationship has grown into fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time where she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more daily responsibilities. Oh my god. Her grandma's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many more of the chores she used to take for granted. And so is this morning, found Kaine lacing up her work boots with her breakfast, a burned berry rolling it through her belly. Wait, so why were they cooking the berries? Couldn't they just eat the berries? Like, why did you have to cook the berries? I don't understand why you couldn't just eat it. Like, you don't need to cook berries. It's a freaking berry. You don't need to cook fruits. Like, you know. Anyways. Where are you going today? Said the grandmother suddenly. Kind of looked up in surprise. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. Well, I was going to check out the kelman tree and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones so I can take... so I need to take the wheelbarrow. Flagstones? What in the hell for? Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around the room, circling mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble. The old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection. I mean, it's not a terrible idea, though. Like, realistically. The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. God damn it, girl. If a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyways. I'm not worried about thieves, I'm worried about shades. Fair, I think. People saw one west of the village yesterday. The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other... Grandma, no. But if I don't go to Kelman Trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that. A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. Yes, she said after a bit. Yes, of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is... She didn't finish the thought. Instead of walking over to the nightstand, she gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from her drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness. Kaine thought that it was more beautiful now than it was the first day she received it. You're gonna be a true woman soon, Grandma said as she placed the flowers in her girl's hair. So that means less chatter about shades and building defense walls, and more talk about how beautiful you become. Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandma's face stopped her hand. You're a beautiful thing, said the old woman. There ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you. Okay, Grandma. It's enough goddamn compliments for one day. Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from? Gee, I wonder. I'll teach you to sass me, girl. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. Grandma, yelled her in a quacking voice. Grandma, stop her. What the hell? The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if they were the first time she had ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. My mind just... Kaine thought the look on her grandma's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. Listen, maybe I should stay home after all. No, I won't have you stay here and keep an eye on an old cocker like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Kaine rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandma on the forehead, ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. She could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself. But at the end, the temptation was too grand. She spun around on her heel for one final look, and she saw a small, fat woman standing in front of the ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. Gods, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed a nearly empty wheelbarrow down the path. As she crested the final hill, she finally froze in panic. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers, and she collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed on a thick black cloud that hovered up just ahead. Tracing its path with a finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot on itself. Oh gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if they were trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma! Kaine ran faster than she had ever moved in her life. She once tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounds and hands and knees. She got closer and closer. Kaine's mind began to race in time of her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. Not just fire. Can't be fire. It's too much smoke. I gotta save her. I gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and suddenly came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke and the fire had mingled into a thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet, and she balanced through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it an appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, the blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again. This time, Kaine responded with a scream of her own. "All right, you bastard," she thought her, as her screams echoed off into the high cliffs around them. "It's you or me, let's go." The shade eyes eyed Kaine in bemused interest, and then began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flame, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma. At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. "She's alive," thought Kaine. "Alive." Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance a few more steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up now. As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might as well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire, one or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken tail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between 2 women and flicked out its tongue. Its dry mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside of its core. Bastard, laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion. There could be no doubt that she was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see her plan. The shade moved its claws slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. And to kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap of her right ankle as the foot twisted backwards, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble towards the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch of her waist, she leaped on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. "Give her back," she screamed. "Give her back to me." It was like stabbing a rock. A few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, raised its tail and sent her rushing through the air toward the young girl that was lashed to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The sail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. "Kaine?" Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. "Grandma? Kaine, you gotta run. You can't best this one." Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. "Grandma, come on, we have to go." The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and dumped to the ground below. Grandma, no. No! I said, run, damn it. You have to. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished, because before she could say another word, the shade claw's foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from the gaps in their fingers' toes as the terrible, putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hand which had been in hers just moments before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after another, faster and faster until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving to smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backwards, trying to discern if his broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment, laughing like a madwoman. She leapt into the air and plunged the scattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once more. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight was resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No. Can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke, the flames, all of it had faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Kill it now. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between the heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer.
The beast approaches.
Oh, I know.
Oh boy. Man, I feel like I haven't read out loud to you guys since Final Fantasy 6. Like
This creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
Not gonna let this happen again. It dies today.
alright, so
Lighter.
It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
okay. No more story time? Listen, man. Kaine's dreams encounter. Please don't. Damn it! No! 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 Why? Gently, weakly, softly, the shade sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off towards the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shamed beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing out a huge gout of blood. Yeah, right? Like, we got one fight, which we already have done. Like, it was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stump of an arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. I'm gonna make it, this is gonna make clapping a real bitch. Wow. Ha. Cried a sudden voice of death. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought, an unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck your eyes out and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. I want to... That way you can live forever. No, stop. I don't want to live forever. I want to die right here. I see, he said. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of his grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the screen, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. No, stop. Don't hurt the picture. She reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely in the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture and onto the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relived, Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. Ferguson smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Wow, that's fucked up. I look like that? Oh god. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Dreading in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud and smoke from her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form, and wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish? Like a prayer or something? Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me. I finally resorted to shouting at the voice in her mind. I don't make wishes, they just don't come true for me. I'm a curse, I'm a freak, I should be left to die. Another voice boomed in her ears. Oh god, you are the best. She glanced down and saw a black, shining substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm could no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet, and then began moving up toward the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, and feel the hot, searing pain left in its wake. Whatever else might happen, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on. Let it go. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up. Ready to die, so why not let me have it? Have what? Your body, come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in their blood, just like before. Shit. Okay. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she had ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. It feels good, doesn't it? What can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me the body. Come on, give me the body, and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. The black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side. As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she somehow brushed it away. Stop, she whispered. Stop. The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing into a cloud of smoke. What the hell, sunshine? We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Kaine said, I can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, blighted and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her, and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image of her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern, the pattern of a shade, burn itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned. Look at that, sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kaine started telling on her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin affecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, she took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it. Hate's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn it with fire of revenge. Thirst for blood. Then go out there and... Shut up. Shut up and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich. Real rich. Oh my god. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all of myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see it dead. She grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. But before she could, a darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. She screamed and dropped the shard to the sound of bone crunching on the bone. As the sound of bone crunching bone on bone filled the air. Stupid idiot girl. You're possessed now, sunshine. There ain't no going back. The voice laughed again. A loud, long wail seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Yeah, possessed. You and me? We got what we call a timeshare agreement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. She looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed familiar somehow. Darker. Is this because of that shade? Is that how they see the world? So, listen. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't bad. There's plenty in it for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? You got people to kill? I can make that happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap them up in their own assholes. Wow. No more abuse for you, sunshine. No more pain. Wait, you're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? Well, you think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, Ponty Pants. I just want to drink from the well. What the fuck? She considered this as she struggled to her feet, the powdery shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind. She enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze fell on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me? We can make some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole. I'll handle the killing. Look at you, oh sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name is Thyran? Thyran? I think so, Thyran. We'll figure it out. If you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. She found herself nodding to the voice. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm going to find that shade and I'm going to strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm going to do the same to you. Count on it. Ha! I've shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Wow. This is a very intense conversation here. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body, but if you ever run out, if you ever, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, Sunshine, and watch your back. Voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. She waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. It feels perfectly normal, as if it was mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding her new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal, but she could. That would mean the creature inside had already won. I'm not ashamed. I'm Kaine. Repeating the mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain bread-stained spot on the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was a wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals that were bright as ever. She started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. This time I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened up to dawn and the people of the area arose their daily lives, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror of the now infected her world.
Alive.
Oh, thank God.
Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
Oh, hey. Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
Shit. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Please, no more. No, 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 no.
Waking from her long, petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious.
Please, try to understand. People are tired and scared, and
This is crap,
So
and you
we-
know it.
It's
We've
okay.
seen this part.
We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village. And now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean,
I don't
look
understand
at
her
me.
though. She looks human.
As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But
We'll see you later.
sorry about that.
I was so scared we were gonna have to read again. Please don't do it.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
didn't get much sleep that night. For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades. Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad. Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
Yeah, man. It's kind of messed up.
I should apologize to Kaine and Emil. But what good would that even do? Wait, is that...
I'm so happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
So this we haven't seen.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Wow.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interested. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is... different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was.
I wonder, do we ever find out why they think she looks like a freak? Because, like, she looks like a normal person.
No matter how bad things got, she gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay. Can we just forget I told you about that?
See, my new friend, guess what? He's a king. I wish I had for some friends. It's just sad.
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale. Don't be so hard on yourself, lad.
I need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well.
Now, I want to know... So, can I, like... So you could go back in theory, right?
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I have not heard you speak much about your mother.
She got the black scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's all right. I can barely remember her face anymore. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me of when we were still a family.
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, here, take a look.
Oh. I like how it just saves for you. It's like, yeah, no, you're gonna save here. Screw you.
Say there. Can you not hear me?
What if I didn't want to save? What is this?
Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny?
Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed. Come now. There's the door.
Right. Let's go.
What? Well, hold on. It says you won't be able to save until the battle is over. You know what? Now, screw it. Let's go. What is this? What's going on? I'm so confused. This is the world of the recycled vessel, created to avoid the destruction of all. Like, okay. Did I kill it? Did I kill it? Was I supposed to die? I'm very confused. I died and I saved. What happened?
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Wait.
The dire...
Yeah.
The world of the recycled vessel.
Yeah, was I supposed to die? I feel like I wasn't supposed to die. Or was I? I don't know. I have no idea. Because I don't know if I died or... Because I feel like I killed the thing. But I also got hit, so like, I don't know... I'm gonna try it one more time, because I mean, it's not like that fight took a long time. But... I just want to make sure, like... it felt very much like I shouldn't have done it. But he was also like no life, so I don't know if like. So I don't know. Maybe not. See you when we're together. Maybe we weren't supposed to die. I don't know. A lost destiny, a white book, a false truth. What is going on? Tricky stuff right now. Alright. Like what is this like? What is this filter right now? Like Like, what is going on? I know we're like in like the diary world, I guess, but like it's like really hard to see actually. What is this? Okay. Soldiers assault conflicts await their legion. Fool's Embrace. Okay. Dragon's Chorus brought death to the world, delivering onto it the power of magic. It's like not easy to see. Alright. Alright. Let's go here. Nope. Missed that. Alright. Let's go here. Here. Oh no. Wow. Incredible. Really? Oh boy, I don't know about this one. That's my last healing. That's not good. Problem is, if I'm too far away, I can't see what he's doing. I think this is where I'm gonna end here. Yep. I don't think I'm gonna go much further than this. I don't have enough healing. Yep, there it is. If I do this again, do I have to start? I have to start from the beginning, don't I? I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't have healing or anything, so.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as...
I know it's...
Yeah, is that like just like a side thing? Like. It's really weird. You know, I wasn't expecting to play as him though. I thought I was gonna play as Kaine, but I guess not.
Hey,
Oh, I kind of thought...
I understand you're doing this.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about yes.
You don't let him...
So we know all this. So we spoke to them. It's the same conversation. All right. All right.
Hey, mister, how come I can't see Dad?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Popola?
Oh. Hello.
Look, I want to apologize for yes.
Stop. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but neither did you. You're just trying to protect the villagers. And I jumped down your throat for it.
It's very kind of you to say so. Regardless, please don't let it trouble you.
I believe there was something you wished to discuss with us.
Oh, right. Yes, about that. You know about the lost shrine, right?
The temple where I was first discovered.
That's it. Well, it seems that the Shadow Lord's lair is connected to it somehow.
Well, it's interesting that she helps us find the Shadow
It was
Lord's
right
lair.
under our pages the whole time.
And then, like, backstabs us.
But the bridge that leads there is unusable.
So, take a boat.
A boat?
Yes, the canal's finally been repaired. It took a lot longer than expected, what with the shades and all. I also asked them to provide a boat at the path to the Lost Shrine's back entrance. The ferryman will let you use it free of charge. That should make it easier for you to move from town to town.
Thanks, Popola. I feel like you've done so much for me. I'm really grateful. All right.
And for the love of every...
Like, I understand because she's like trying to be careful, I guess, for, I guess, the shell of the person, right? Like he's the body that they want to take, I guess. But like, it's very
The path above the entrance to the shopping district should lead to the boat landing.
How excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
before we continue on this way.
What's up?
Our water wheel is on its last legs.
This is a wise thought on your part. That wheel is a machine of not in...
I suppose we'd all be in...
Replace...
So,
All right.
Thank you.
but the quests are different, right?
How about buying something? I suppose.
Hey, you.
Oh, this is the treasure map
That's...
that we also got before.
Sure.
One could have...
Oh.
Welcome.
No new
Blacksmith.
weapons, so. Alright, so let's go over here. Oh, god damn it, I missed! No, don't make me walk all the way around.
Everything in working order.
Yeah, Vice.
I landed like slightly too
Your
much
health
to the
is
left.
diminished. Do be more careful
I
next
know,
time.
I know, I'm an idiot. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh my god, that was so dumb.
Hey, look.
That red bag.
Hey.
Sure has. Apparently.
Oh,
Thanks. Anyway.
Oh no. Yeah, he's still alive. I forgot about that. Totally forgot he was still alive. Like at this point.
The Lost Shrine's up ahead.
as well.
Let us make...
Alright, so we know all this. So is the rest of this game, the rest of this game cannot be exactly the same. There's just no way. Oh no. I'm not like you, I'm different. I realized I should have been reading that. So one's called Hansel, one's called Gretel. Interesting. He also called the little guys like essentially like monsters, like not formed well. Interesting. Knowing this game, it's gonna make me feel bad for the frickin' shades. Like, alright. Alright, cool. Alright. You again. Stop bothering me. Grimoire Vice has been taken away. Hansel is dead. Hansel is dead. There's no reason for me to exist anymore. My life is over. Just leave me alone. What?
Ain't you excited, sunshine? We finally get to bathe in blood.
Don't talk to me.
I want to kill so bad I can barely stand it.
It's weird though that like we're not playing as her. I have to do these puzzles again. Alright, let's push this here. For some reason it needs to have clearance, even though it doesn't open that direction.
Too easy.
And there's like a alright, we're gonna go in here. Not the one I tried to grab. Here. We're gonna go this way. I like how I can see the shades through the wall. That's funny. We're gonna go like that. Stuff. Let's push this here. Alright, we're gonna move this out of the way. This should be enough. See, that one opens towards you. That makes sense. That one makes sense. Turn back. Interesting.
What's with these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety shades.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
Say, I've heard of this. A cursed area where incomplete shades gather.
That's why I hate fighting these guys. It takes so long. let's go up here. I do have armor break on this, right? Actually, I might not. I might have took it off. Yeah, I might have took it off. No, I do. Good job, Kaine. Let's go. Alright, let's go in here. I think this is the room we have to clear, right? Oh, guess not. Alright, I thought there was like a room you have to clear. Over here. Let's push this back in a little bit more. Let's go here. That might be actually enough to be real with you. Yeah. I think this upcoming room, maybe? Right? Yep. I think there's a room that we definitely couldn't just through. Hit. I'm not gonna be able to get them. Let's set these up. You're dead. I don't think you need to stab them the whole time, but I don't know actually. Door. actually fight this guy, but I'm going to anyways. Because I hate myself. Actually, isn't there like a big battle by the safe spot? Yeah, I don't know if I have the healing. Yeah, I probably don't. This one, the charge attack's not gonna work. So we're just gonna have to just deal with it, I guess. I mean, realistically, the lance attack is pretty solid here. Is up here. Hey. Oh boy. He's trying to really not. Okay. Let's go down here. See if there's any. Nope. Okay. Alright, let's move forward here. This is gonna be the part that's gonna suck. Gretel, I treated you all very poorly. I mocked you, betrayed you, all because you went gestalt before the change was complete. But after all this, I think I can understand you. I think we can speak as equals. It makes me very happy. I hope we can spend the rest of our life. What was that? Alright.
Kaine, Emil, look, from now on, I'm going to sleep outside with you.
Why?
I can't accept that you aren't allowed in the village. It's stupid.
So you're staging a protest? Fun.
Don't
What's
waste
this
your
not fun,
time.
bro?
But it just feels wrong.
Well, that's really nice of you, but you still don't have to stay out here with us. You've got a super important mission. You can't sleep out in the rain. What if you catch a cold?
I mean,
Besides, I like camping with Kaine. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast.
Emil, that's enough. I got a fucking image to maintain.
I love that line. It's so great. Alright. I'm just scanning for health pots, really. Because this fight was annoying last time we had to do it.
We seem to be so...
This is hot. Just
Yeah.
kick him aside.
No, I don't think I got a choice here. fight, because this fight is like just in a weird little area, and it just really sucks. Like,
This is
come on, why can't I stab them? Be a real test here to make sure I can pull this off. That's going to be the only way I'm going to be able to pull this off. It's just by counters. Dead. Come out of here. You're dead. Okay. Oh, snap. Alright. Alright. He's done. Die already. Anything? Alright. I have like nothing. Let's look around real quick to see if I can find, actually, first things first, let's go to magic, dark lands. This needs to be changed because we have a lower rate now. Alright. Let's go up here. Is there like more boxes or something? I don't think there is. Well, usually, I thought there's like people that spawn right there. Well, here's a box. Well, I was hoping that like maybe something was gonna spawn that I could like put the item drop on and maybe get something, but because I know we're gonna have to fight that shade. So before we start that boss, let's save, and that's what we're ending for today. But before you all leave, as a heads up, guys, we won't be streaming tomorrow. It's a friend's birthday, so you know, he wants to go out, so we're gonna take him out. So it's a little weird to do it on a Wednesday, but whatever. You know, his birthday is his birthday, so he doesn't get to pick. So we won't be streaming tomorrow, but we will be back on Thursday. So, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We'll be back on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern with some more Nier Replicant action, continuing this Route B, I guess. Guess B route? B route, I guess. So, take care, y'all. Be safe. Make wise choices. Don't do anything too stupid. And I'll catch y'all next time. But that's it for me, y'all. Take care. Peace.